a
And
stage
all of this
4
provides an
lockdown
environment
for 6
for the
weeks until
virus
the
to spread.
13th
Now,
of
in the hopes
September.
of
That
catching
means
a
sweeping new restrictions, including
I had to get to a point where I wasn't seeking validation from the outside because I was good and safe on the inside. So that's definitely something that you have to work through. But, being able to express yourself is important. I started using mantras and affirmations and visualizations. I would visualize a white light surrounding myself that, would block anything negative from the outside that, made me really feel safe, with being inside of that bright white light that surrounded me. I started taking care of my physical well being. So, I started exercising. Guys, movement helps remove stuck energy. So that could be, it could be dancing, it could
blurring
be
the lines
yoga,
of night and day.
massages. You could, get into tantric healing, meaning, I have a friend that specializes in that. So there's people that you could go to, or you could look some things up and learn some of these different movements and stuff to utilize on yourself.
Shine covers nameless
Meditation
dark
and
tide,
mindfulness activities,
as orange
that has
sees
helped me
blue at the
tremendously,
peak of its
and breath
machinery.
work. Oh my God, that has
The
helped
world
me
has bathed
so
clean,
much.
new again. The scars of forgotten wounds began to
Learn
disappear.
to express yourself emotionally. So you can do that through creative
One moment
outlets,
I
art,
stand
music, writing,
suspended in
etc.
air.
Um, Once you start really, if you are an artist already, that is when you make the best art, the best music, the best things, books, things like that, because you are pouring your emotions and your heart into it, and people can feel that. That's what makes it so good. You can talk about it, guys. If you can find, friends or family, etc., that, will provide you with that safe space to be able to, talk about what happened, definitely do that. It's okay. Um, when, and if you are looking to heal the generations of this, you can, really tap into the patterns. You really want to reflect on how um, you adapted to everything, what you learned through everything, so that you can switch this pattern up. You can stop the pattern of it, um, and do something different for your generations to come. Awareness. You'll be able to, once you start becoming aware of what's going on around you, you'll be able to spot unavailability, and you'll be able to understand the lack of emotional support, no matter who that comes from. Um, you'll be able to reflect and learn your own limitations, where you'll be able to create those boundaries that I was talking about with you. Good evening, guys. Rose here, aka Red, for those of you that don't know me. I want to first and foremost welcome those of you that are tuning in tonight to Red's Soul Sessions podcast. This is a place where we dive deep into the sensual art of healing and various topics that are wrapped around it. I'd like you to settle in with me and join me on this intimate conversation that we're going to be having on personal and spiritual growth, emotional wellness, transformative practices, and so on. Let's go ahead and embark on this journey and discover deep connections and inner peace together. So, guys, this is a part two um, to the podcast that I did earlier with Queen Entice on Shadowed Love, the strain of maternal jealousy. Very, very touchy subject. So you definitely want to tune into part one to get the ins and outs and hear what we were talking about. But this particular session I'd like to really speak to the people that dealt with this issue and or dealing with it now, maybe struggling to find peace with it, need some guidance and healing, and so on. And that's what this particular session is going to encompass. Um, when we're talking about maternal hate and jealousy, again, I know it's touchy because, we really don't want to point our fingers at, our mothers. And, we're taught to not disrespect. And this may feel a little disrespectful, but the truth is that a lot of it has caused wounds and trauma in a lot of us, men and women, although today's subject is on the mother daughter dynamic. Um, I know a lot of people that have these type of relationships or had them with their mothers, and it's horrific. And most times, because it's our mother, we sweep these things under the rug. We try to act like it wasn't a thing, but it really is. And it's time that we stop sweeping it under the rug and we heal these different um, areas that we've been traumatized in, and make sure that we do not pass it down, especially for those women that dealt with this and have daughters. I myself have two sons, but still, sometimes we still carry some of the traits down and they're pushed onto the boys as well. That's a whole nother podcast. But, let me go over really quick some of the different areas that mothers have these different types of, feelings and emotions towards their daughters. Sometimes it's a competition thing, maybe the mother wants to fight for the attention, spotlight, and success that the daughter is getting. And I've heard this so many times. I'm jealous of my daughter because of her personality or her success, and I didn't get to do that. That's a problem. Huge red flag. You should never have jealousy towards your child, period. Maybe the mother was narcissistic, that's a whole nother podcast, but that definitely poses a problem and puts a child in a place where um, she's basically trying to prove her worth to, a mother that will never see it. It will never be good enough. And sometimes that, turns into threats, put downs, punishments, physical abuse, and so on. Looks, maybe the daughter looks more youthful. Of course, she's younger. Maybe she is a better size in the mother's eyes, dresses better, the personality is better, and the mother has a problem with that. Sometimes it's material possessions. Maybe the daughter is doing well for herself, or maybe she's still a child. Um, it's earlier on, but maybe her dad or the dad's side of the family or whatever does a lot for the child, and the mother is jealous of that. I know that that was a thing for me. My mother was very, very um, hateful towards me because she felt that I reminded her of my father. And, she took that out on me. So that's definitely a thing, where the mothers have that issue with, the child reminding her of the father. Um, Also, it could be a thing where I didn't meet my dad until I was 35, I'm sorry. But sometimes the daughter will have a really good relationship with the dad, and the mother resents that because she doesn't. And that doesn't mean, it could be whether they're apart or together. If she feels that the daughter is closer to the dad, that could be an issue. All the way around, being envied by your mom is in itself a problem. It damages your self worth, the child's self worth, let's put it that way, um, and basically makes that child question their goodness. Like, are they good enough? Do they live up to what the mother, you know, um, wants them to be? And I think that it's time that, we put our feet down on this. I'm sorry. And really understand that, um, Your child is not your rival, she's your legacy. So I know with myself, I felt like I needed to walk on eggshells quite a bit. I was in flight or fight. I felt a lot of guilt and shame. Definitely felt unsafe and had low self esteem stemming from it. And I was longing for my mother's love and validation always. So this sent me in a place of codependency. And again, tune into the part one where I dive a little deeper into that. Um, but that is a huge issue, and that stretched for myself. It stretched all the way into adulthood, into relationships. Um, Friendships and romantic relationships. It was issues for me, always needing to feel safe, that codependent thing, needing and wanting to take care of people, which became a huge problem for me. And those are things that I had to really work through. So I definitely want to share the healing modalities that I encompass to, help myself get to a better place. So I definitely had to start learning to set boundaries and, have some self advocacy for myself, learning to express my needs for, whether it be for affection or, for a listening ear to be heard. Um, you know, I had to get to a point where I wasn't seeking validation from the outside because I was good and safe on the inside. So that's definitely something that you have to work through. But, being able to express yourself is important. A lot of inner healing. I've done tons of shadow work, and I had to learn to be very compassionate with myself. Basically, I had to become a companion to myself. I had to learn to nurture um, the presence inside me and learn to support myself unconditionally. I started using mantras and affirmations and visualizations. I would visualize a white light surrounding myself that, would block anything negative from the outside that, made me really feel safe, with being inside of that bright white light that surrounded me. I started taking care of my physical well being. So, I started exercising. Guys, movement helps remove stuck energy. So that could be it could be dancing, it could be yoga, massages. You could, get into tantric healing, meaning, I have a friend that specializes in that. So there's people that you could go to, or you could look some things up and learn some of these different movements and stuff to utilize on yourself. Meditation and mindfulness activities, that has helped me tremendously, and breath work. Oh my God, that has helped me so much. Now, for myself, I am a third degree Reiki master and certified crystal healer. So I use those practices on myself, and I've been doing that for years. I like to clear my energy on a daily basis, and actually more than once during the day. Definitely want to, you know, um, make sure that your energy is maintained and that you're always calling it back before you rest at the end of the night, for sure. And then even throughout the day. So a lot of self-care, guys. You have to really learn to be kind to yourself, and a lot of self-care rituals. Create nurturing routines that you can do for yourself, that they're for you. You know, you could go to therapy. Now, for me, I started therapy in my late 40s, which helped me tremendously. That was after a failed relationship, well, marriage with a narcissist. So I had a lot of trauma from that on top of what I already had. Now, although I had already started my journey, I was already on my awakened journey. But um, my therapist was not. Although she wasn't, She helped me tremendously, especially with giving me that safe space and, you know, um, giving me the book Codependency No More to read. I would not have even known that that's what I had going on if it wasn't for her. I thought I had father issues for years, but it turned out I have mommy issues. And there's a lot of us that do. The mother wound is a really prominent thing. Um, Let's see. Support groups. You definitely could get into support groups where you have people that are in the groups with similar experiences. Learn to express yourself emotionally. So you can do that through creative outlets, art, music, writing, etc. Um, Once you start really, if you are an artist already, that is when you make the best art, the best music, the best things, books, things like that, because you are pouring your emotions and your heart into it, and people can feel that. That's what makes it so good. You can talk about it, guys. If you can find, friends or family, etc., that, will provide you with that safe space to be able to, talk about what happened, definitely do that. It's okay. Um, when, and if you are looking to heal the generations of this, you can, really tap into the patterns. You really want to reflect on how um, you adapted to everything, what you learned through everything, so that you can switch this pattern up. You can stop the pattern of it um, and do something different for your generations to come. Um, Awareness. You'll be able to, once you start becoming aware of what's going on around you, you'll be able to spot unavailability, and you'll be able to understand the lack of emotional support, no matter who that comes from. Um, you'll be able to reflect and learn your own limitations, where you'll be able to create those boundaries that I was talking about with you. Now, you also could tap into physical healing and, really working to restore your bodily health. So, with good nutrition, really paying attention to what you're putting into your body. And like I said earlier, exercising is great. You want to get a lot of rest and recovery. But I know if you're an entrepreneur like myself, a lot of times we are lacking, in that department. We don't get much sleep, but it's necessary. Even if you take little naps during the day, I do that. I've learned to do that, get 15, 20 minutes here. And sometimes I'll get a 20-minute nap and it'll feel like I slept for an hour. So you definitely need to rejuvenate yourself um, as often as possible. Um, there's alternative practices as well, salt floats, different things like that, acupuncture. Like I said, massages earlier, energy, Reiki healing, and the tantric massages. They are all awesome things that you could use to help with your healing. You want to know thyself. So, again, the self reflection on your family history. Learn your history. If you can find a family member that is willing to share different things, good and bad, that's where you will be able to break the cycle. That will be huge. And, if you're tuning into this, you're definitely the chosen one in your family. So it'll be up to you to do the work, take accountability, and be responsible for your own healing. No, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's very hard, but it's worth it in the end. When I think about um, all the things that I went through, all the ego deaths, all the times where, I thought I wasn't going to make it through the healing. But then I look at my family around me making different healthy choices and doing different things. It makes my heart so happy and full to know that I did the work, and I'm actually very proud of myself for that. So, you want to cultivate emotional resilience within yourself. You want to embrace your vulnerability and teach your family it's okay to express emotions, especially your boys as well. Even though we're talking about daughters today, that's a thing. It's another episode that'll be coming up, but we also have to allow our young men to be able to express themselves, cry, hug it out with our families, and, really mean it. Um, a lot of families are lacking that emotional availability and affection. So, you can start that within your family if it is an issue. You want to develop healthy coping strategies. So, find those creative outlets, like I said. And then you definitely, this is huge, guys, this is huge. You want to forgive your ancestral ghosts. So, all of your ancestors that are already gone, that probably, no, probably, they passed it down. You want to be able to forgive them and rewrite the story. So maybe family talks, if your family is open or some of your family is open to talk so that you can, together, come together to work through the different things and break those passed down traumas. Generational healing, guys. Generational healing. So, what I'd like for you guys to do is follow me on the different social media platforms. On Facebook, I'm on there as Rose Guest. TikTok and IG, I am on there as I am Rose Guest. YouTube and is the same as here as on Clubhouse. It's Red Soul Session. I'd love for you to subscribe and hit the like button. Definitely rate me and give me a review. I would appreciate that so, so much. So, thank you for tuning in and sharing this space with me tonight on Red Soul Sessions. I hope that this part 2 episode touched your heart and ignited a deeper passion within your soul. As we part ways for now, remember to carry the light of your spirit and let it guide you. Until we meet again, take gentle care of yourself. Peace, love, and light.